Well, to talk a bit more then about those fires in Belgium, but also elsewhere in Europe, and crucially, what can be done, I'm pleased to welcome to the programme Alexander Held. He's a senior expert in the resilience programme at Europe's Forest Institute. Hello, and thank you for joining us today here on Paris Direct.
Hello.
Look, first of all, on these fires in Belgium, how rare are they and how serious?
Well, it's the biggest fire on record and it's burning in peatland. So it is a very significant incident. It is, of course, opening the window for the future for us to see what we can expect. And it's also showing if we don't manage peatland like it should be managed, then we have situations like now, 6-7 meters deep of dry peat, which means the rain that we see coming in now won't help for putting out these fires that made their way into the ground.
Yeah, and you talked about this sort of giving us a window into what we may expect in the years to come. We've had fires, of course, not just in Belgium, but across Europe over the past couple of months. I mean, Wales, for example, in the United Kingdom, a place that is famous for being rather wet, also engulfed in flames in some areas this week. Is this then the new normal for Europe, and we just sort of need to get used to extreme weather and therefore fires?
Yeah, I'm a little bit reluctant to call it the new normal because if it would be normal, then we would react normal. Then we would, become more proactive and prepare ourselves better. So it is surely in the sense the new normal that it will come again. Maybe not next year, but maybe the year after. And if not, then we see the frequency of these extreme droughts with the fires coming in relatively high frequency now. So yes, in that sense, it's the new normal, but we don't treat it as the new normal. So we still call the weather situation and the fires unprecedented and surprising and unexpected in a way, which is not if we really call it the new normal. It shouldn't be.
And when you say, there is a lack of preparedness for this, are you thinking of governments or are you thinking of individual members of the public?
Everything. It starts basically with you and me, or with the individual citizen that has to morph a little bit more into a responsible citizen that is contributing what the citizen can contribute in terms of increasing his house, his community's resilience, and not, this attitude of sitting back and relying on fire service and government agencies to deliver full protection. So we need everything from the individual to the community, to the wild and urban interface, to the authorities and the governments. So governments and policies should provide a more stable, more long-term, more sustainable, better funded framework for this integrated risk management. And then the different levels need to do their homework. Big problem is at the moment, different agencies, different landowners, different communities, sometimes affected by tourism, some are under nature protection, some are more agricultural, some are more forestry. Who's doing what? So we need an overarching strategy that is bridging this and closing this fragmentation, and that is formulating a very clear objective for the next 20, 30 years so that everybody knows what homework to do and in what direction.
Yeah, because certainly for the moment, at least as a member of the public, if I was in an area impacted by forest fires, I'm not sure I would know what to do. You're saying that we can't rely on firefighters to help us in every context. Why is that? Why can't I say, well, actually, I'm trusting the experts here?
Yeah, let's look at the situation we had a few days ago in Wales, and also what we see now in Germany 2 days ago, and what we currently see still in Belgium. Once wildfires or bushfires leave the wildland, which is not really wild, but leave the forest as it is and is affecting infrastructure, then we have incidents within incidents, and then we have evacuations, and then we have new tasks for the firefighters that are actually already reaching their limits in fighting the bushfire. Now we need to withdraw and assign resources to protect houses. So we have the bushfire, the forest fire, we have the evacuations going on, and we have structure protection. And each individual house currently in this wildland urban interface would need one fire truck and 4 or 5 firefighters to protect it fully. So you see by the sheer scale of it, this won't work. And it can only work if the houses, if the wildland urban interface, if these settlements and infrastructures are better prepared. We call this fire-wise or fire-smart landscaping. So we create a defensible space and less flammable buffer zones between the wildland, and the infrastructure. And then we have this, also here an increased resilience of, yes, the landscape, but also the urban and the wildland urban interface structures and settlements. And this is responsible of me as a homeowner, as the community or the city council, but we cannot leave this as well to the fire service. We have this attitude to shift a lot of responsibility to the responders. Landscaping and prevention is not the mandate of the fire service. This is our task.
Yeah. Just a final thought for you then on precisely that. It seems that in a number of cases here in France, we not only don't have citizens being responsible, we have some who are actively dangerous. Almost 500 people here in France have been arrested on suspicion of starting wildfires. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I think this is a very, very sensitive topic. We have to be careful not to fall in this trap of finding a suspect or finding somebody that we can point the finger and say it's your fault that we have these fires, because this is kind of then neglecting the overarching picture, the climate change, the climate crisis, as you called it, and the lack of prevention. If we just then jump on this, okay, who can we blame for this? On the other hand, of course, we need this investigation to really understand how these fires started. We don't have that in Europe as developed as in America or in Australia, where the discipline of cause and origin investigation is really a forensic investigation. We don't have that to that level in Europe, and certainly not in Central Europe. So I'm very careful to say all these people that are under arrest now or suspicious to have started fires are really the cause of the fire. This needs a lot more thorough investigation and very sensitive approach to really understand how these fires start. This is very important information.
All right, really good to get your analysis. Thank you so much, Alexander Hell, speaking to us there. He's from the European Forest Institute.